Welcome. This week on Creator's Tip, we're going to talk a little bit about titles and headlines. And Tim Schmoyer is taking a nap, so I decided to take over with my super cool sunglasses. My name is Mark Robertson of Real SEO, and welcome to Creator's Tip, where each week we try and give you some insight and some tips into how to create your videos better for marketing, for entertainment, etc. I'm going to talk a little bit about VidCon. I was at VidCon speaking on a panel, and it was with Jim Louderback as a moderator, and it was a really interesting panel. It was really great. I actually learned a few things myself. You know, we talked for probably 15 minutes just about how to title your videos and how important that is. And so I thought I'd mention just a few snippets of that. The first is, you got to think, obviously, about whether it's enticing or versus having a ton of keywords. You know, if your goal is purely to be in YouTube so that you can be found in Google organic for the search terms you want, you're still going to want a little bit of enticing, but it's okay to put a little bit more into the SEO part of that. However, you think about it, when this shows up in people's social stream or in their subscription boxes, you need to capture them and give them a reason to go, oh yeah, I gotta watch this video. In that case, it's really more important to think about keeping it simple, maybe sensational, but obviously not overly sensational, but try and strike an emotion so that somebody, you know, clicks on that. And one of the things that we talked about, I mentioned this in the panel, was that it's okay to go with the social piece, have it be more enticing, less SEO, but then come back to it. Come back to it, say, a month from now when most of your subscribers and your social people have actually already seen the video, already clicked on the title, and then optimize it. One of the guys on the panel actually said, you know what, Mark, that is so true. I had a video that had 10,000 views and it was kind of stuck. It was about 3 years old. I spent a good hour redoing the metadata, the title, the tags, description. He said the next day I got 30,000 views and it's now over 1 million. Point there being, it's okay to experiment with your titles. A couple other things, even though you have 100 or 120 characters in your field to do your title and you can use that for your keywords, YouTube searchers are only going to see the first 60, and in Google Organic Universal Search, they're really only going to see the first 50. So you want to make sure that you capture them with that. Another thing that was talked about, and actually this is something I haven't put too much thought into myself until this was brought up, but a gentleman by the name of Brett, who's the producer for Shay Carl and Shay Tards, which is a really popular YouTube channel. Obviously they put a lot of research and time into their titles, and they actually will put certain words all in caps. So, you know, that's something where it's just such a simple thing that sometimes you overlook, but when you're thinking about a search results page in YouTube and there's all these videos with different titles, if you've got, you know, what's in caps is what people search for, you know, there's a good chance that they may click on that more so than other things. And lastly, Jim Louderback, who has been in the media industry for a long time, started, I believe, with magazines, he brought up this point, and I hadn't thought of this, is take a look at how magazines do this. Because when you think about it, when you go to a newsstand, there's tons of magazines. He brought up Cosmopolitan as a perfect example of those that come up with great headlines. They need to capture attention. And another thing that he said that I thought was incredibly interesting is that prime numbers and odd numbers are better when you're saying, for example, the top 10 of this. It would be better to say the top 7 of this. And the thinking, I guess, is that perhaps that when you see top 10, you know, you may think to yourself, oh, did they really have 10 or did they just conveniently make it 10? Whereas if it's 7, you know, it's like, oh, well, I guess they have 7 solid tips. Regardless, in the magazine industry, they know that that works, and so it's something to pay attention to and maybe experiment with. What other tips do you guys have for titles and headlines that other people could learn from? Thanks for watching. If you're new to our episodes, our videos, we do these every week. Usually it's Tim Schmoyer, and again, he's taking a nap, but he rocks. If you're new to us, you know, click subscribe up here and join us next week, and thanks a lot.
I am not taking it.
How do you start this? Hey guys, this is the Creator's Tip.